Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside Molson Stadium on the beautiful downtown campus of McGill University for the 42nd annual Shaughnessy Cup game between the Concordia Stingers and the McGill Redmen. Alongside my colleague Kamran Arya, I'm Matt Chesser. Delighted you could join us for the Battle of English Montreal here on SSN Canada. And Kamran, for these two teams, tonight's game could be crucial. Through 2 weeks of play in the QUFL, there seem to be two distinct tiers of teams, with Laval and Montreal in that top tier with identical 2-0 records, a margin of victory of over 2 touchdowns per game. So that leaves it up to Concordia, McGill, Bishops, and Sherbrooke to battle it out for those final 2 playoff spots. And with that said, let's go to Kamran's keys to the game.
My keys to the game tonight are to look to McGill quarterback Ryan Bondi to really find his groove. He showed a lot of poise and composure in the last quarter of last week's game versus Bishops here at Percival Molson Stadium. And I look for the threat of the pass to open up the running game for our two very capable backs in Murphy and Kaprowski. If Bondi can throw for over 200 yards tonight, I think that will be a very good indication of where McGill will be at the end of this game. And the main goal is to limit our penalty yards.
Yep, McGill has had penalty issues through 2 games, took 11 penalties for 106 yards in the season opener against Laval, and then topped that in the game against Bishops, where they were flagged 21 times for 138 yards. Now, let's take you down to the action on the field. We'll get to the keys to the game for Concordia in just a moment. McGill has elected to receive. Concordia will be kicking off. Deep for McGill, that would be Jeff Thompson, alongside Jonathan Woodley.
Absolutely beautiful night for football.
3rd annual Fill the Stadium night here at McGill. Crowd looks to be in excess of 3,000 students here tonight, and there's the opening kickoff fielded by Jeff Thompson at the 6-yard line. Got a gap to the right-hand side, breaks a couple of tackles, and then cuts back to the left. Tons of room down the left-hand side for Thompson, and he could go all the way. Jeff Thompson, touchdown to start the game.
That is absolutely unbelievable. What a way to start this one off for the Redmen.
102 yards. Jeff Thompson goes all the way to the house, and McGill has a 6-0 lead.
Tremendous blocking on that return. He really found his holes and cut it back up the left-hand side of the field for an amazing run.
Well, Jeff Thompson, we saw Bishops avoid kicking to him last week after he was named the CIS Special Teams Player of the Week in the first game against Laval. He had the second highest total of second highest kick yard return total in Quebec history in the game against Laval with 144 yards. And there he breaks an 102-yard kickoff return to start this one up.
Yeah, Matt, and you get the feeling that he was just chomping at the bit after last week against Bishops. He did not have a chance to get a return and puts the Redmen ahead here only 20 seconds into the game.
Point after is good by Austin Anderson.
Now, for the Stingers tonight, I see the keys to be
You can hear our good friend Earl Zuckerman in the background there saying that's the first time McGill has ever returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. What a way to start the night. And let's get to Cameron's keys to the game for Concordia.
Getting back to Concordia, Matt, they have allowed 6 sacks this season, so their offensive line is going to be a big part of their offense to give their backup quarterback a chance to really, get his feet tonight. And starting tonight is Terrence. I'm sorry, do you have that in front of you?
Terrence Morsink will be the starting quarterback. Robert McKay out with an undisclosed injury. So get back to the action on the field. Anderson kicking off. Fielded by Robertson. Runs it out to about the 30-yard line before he's tackled. And the Concordia offense will go to work from their own 30-yard line. So after that exciting start, we get to see Terrence Morsink in the Concordia offense for the first time tonight.
And just a note from last week, offensive lineman Jonathan Remigio of McGill Redmen is out with an injury that he suffered last week against Bishops.
Absolutely. Defensive lineman Laurent Duvernay-Tardif will come in, will take the roster's place vacated by Remigio. So there's the first snap of the game. Run up the middle by Donnelly, stuffed, maybe a gain of a yard for Donnelly.
McGill, Matt, the Redmen look really pumped up tonight. They lost a close one last week against Bishops and might feel that they have something to prove tonight. Critical point in their season.
Absolutely. The other interesting fact, McGill has not won a game in the last 10 matches against Concordia. You have to go all the way back to 2002 to find the last time the Redmen defeated the Stingers.
Should be a good one
So
tonight.
2nd and 9 from the Concordia 31. Morsink looking to his left, but we've got a flag down, and that'll be blown down right away by the officials.
Temperature tonight is 17 degrees Celsius with a wind of 11 kilometers per hour coming out of the west. Don't think that wind should affect passing too much, though.
Absolutely should not.
So you must have been encouraged by the play of Bondi last week.
Absolutely, he looked good. The penalty on the field there was a legal procedure on the Stingers. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 14 from the Stingers' 26-yard line. We'll get to the performance of Bondi in just a moment, but first, Morsink, 2nd and 14. Looking to his left, fires, and that's complete. Arian Francois on the catch.
Great coverage by number 20, Niamadi Edem. Niamadi, excuse me.
Sorry, that would actually be Matthew Quigley of the Redmen on the coverage there. That's a pickup of about 13 yards, for the Stingers. So that will leave them short of the first down and bring out the punting team for the first time tonight.
So back to Bondi. I was just so impressed the way that he was able to complete some big throws down the stretch and keep McGill in the game towards the end there against Bishops.
Yeah, last week a thriller here at Molson Stadium, 26-19, Bishops defeating the Redmen in double overtime. But first, here's the Dimitru Ionita on to punt for Concordia.
Low snap.
Jeff Thompson back to receive it for McGill. He will fall on it.
Looks to be a no yards penalty on the play.
31-yard punt for Ionidu. No return on the play.
And we'll get to see our first action from Bondi tonight.
Absolutely. Redmen with an early 7-0 lead. If you missed it, you missed a great one. Jeff Thompson taking the opening kickoff 102 yards all the way to the house. So after the no yards penalty against Concordia, McGill will start 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line, their own 45. Ryan Bondi in a quarterback for the Redmen, looking down the right-hand side and just overthrows Charles-Antoine Sinat.
And no surprise that he goes to Sinat right off the bat. Could have had one there too. Looked to be pretty open.
Bondi making his 3rd career start tonight. Replaces Jonathan Collin, who's out for the season with an LCL and ACL tear after 6'3", 250-pound Laval defensive lineman Arnaud Nadon landed on his knee in the first game of the season. So Bondi 2nd and 10 from the McGill 45. Looking left, that is complete to Kaprowski. Looks like a pickup of about 7 yards on the play.
So that'll bring on the punting unit for McGill, and Silva will boot another one deep down there. He did quite well last week against Bishops, averaging just about 42 yards a kick.
Silva, the transfer from the University of Western Ontario, averaging 40.7 yards per punt so far this season. That's 6th best in the CIS. Deep to receive for the Stingers is Robertson. And a bouncing punt will be fielded by Robertson, and he is tackled immediately at the 10-yard line.
These McGill Redmen seem to be really feeding off the energy of the crowd tonight. It is Fill the Stadium night, and whoever was advertising for this game did a great job, because we've got the students out here in full effect, really supporting the Redmen tonight. Last week, just to mention some of our rushing statistics, Sean Murphy, this is over the 2 games he's played, has had 17 attempts for 77 yards and average of 4.5 yards a carry. So we'll be looking for something out of him tonight.
So Concordia gets their second try on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 11 yards. Fakes the handoff and rolls to his left. That is complete to Michael Harrington. Morsink, nice little bootleg roll out to his left there. Pickup of about 6 yards on the play for Harrington.
Morsink with an efficiency rating of 133.75 over 2 games.
As we mentioned in the opener, this is the battle of the backups. Morsink replacing the injured Robert McKay. Pass out of the backfield, that's to Mike Donnelly, picked up about 2 yards on the play.
Looks to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Deschamps for Concordia leading the Stingers in receiving yards for the season, 137 yards over 2 games played.
So another punting situation for the Stingers, as a pickup of only 2 yards on the play. Ionidu comes out to punt for the second time tonight. Ionita. Thompson is deep to return for the Redmen.
Can imagine he's got some adrenaline pumping tonight.
Ooh, almost blocked as Osman got right in the face of Ionita. Thompson fields the punt at his own 50-yard line. Not a lot of room as he is knocked out of bounds by Marc-Andre Lewis, the linebacker from Concordia.
Still excellent starting field position for the Redmen on their second drive of the game. Neither team has yet to convert a first down play.
So Bondi comes out for the second time tonight. Kaprowski, the lone back in the backfield, as they work from a 5-receiver set. Looks to his right. That is complete. That is Justin Edwards on the pickup there.
Nice little slot pass underneath. The completion itself was only about 3 yards, but he picked up 7 after the catch. Looks to be
it's 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1. Yeah, I thought he crossed the
from the Concordia 51-yard line. Handoff, Kaprowski. Good for about 5 yards on that play, and an easy first down for the Redmen.
Moving the ball into Stinger territory, and
we've seen a platoon back situation develop so far this year, as the third-year back Kaprowski sharing time with the freshman Murphy.
Tyler Kaprowski has rushed for 45 yards this season over 2 games.
Bondi looking to his right. That's just through the hands of Charles-Antoine Sinat. Can't quite manage to reel that one in.
Sinat has proved over his career he's got great hands, and but he needed 2 to get that one, and only had 1 hand on the ball, so a near miss.
Sinat, the CIS all-time leader in receptions with 214 in 5 seasons here at McGill.
And I'm sure he'll rack up a few more tonight.
That leads the Redmen in catches so far this year with 15 for 135 yards. So 2nd and 10 for the Redmen. That throw to Kaprowski breaks one tackle and manages to pick up about 5 yards on the play. He's going to be well shy of the needed yardage for a first down.
And that was all Kaprowski on that play. As it was beginning to develop, he really had nowhere to go and made his own move and escaped one tackler to pick up about 5 yards. It was not enough for the first down, but that'll bring in the punting unit for the Redmen to try and pin the Stingers deep in their own zone, in their own end. So this is game 3 for the McGill Redmen of this.
Game 3 for both teams, actually.
Yeah, for both teams in this 130th season of McGill Redmen football.
Absolutely. So for the first time tonight, the second time tonight, we'll see Thomas Silva. Long end-over-end punt. Checks up at about the 4-yard line. That will be fielded
bounce
by Robertson. Breaking to the right-hand side before he's brought down at about the 14-yard line.
And it's really a shame that our listeners cannot hear the noise in this crowd tonight because it is absolutely rocking, I would say.
Absolutely. We mentioned earlier the 3rd annual Fill the Stadium night here at McGill.
And I see a group of students with their shirts off, about 20 of them, and I'm sitting up here in a nice polo shirt, and I'm cold myself, so I can't imagine what they're going through.
Dedicated Redmen fans on hand today.
Redmen fans with, I'm sure, a few Molson X beers in their system, which might help the warmth factor.
I never presume such a thing about upstanding McGill students. So Morsink takes over 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. That's a pass out of the backfield to Mahoney. Pickup of about 8, maybe 9 yards on the play.
Mahoney lowered his shoulder there to try to pick up the first down, but came just short. There was a flag on the play, but it was picked up. It looks like it was picked up by the side judge.
Well, we'll wait and see what the call. You're absolutely right. Flag was picked up. No infraction on the play. So that will bring up 2nd and about a yard for the Stingers, but there is an injured Redman on the field. That looks like Joff Gorin. Would be a bad loss for the Redmen. He was the only defensive back to start in all 8 games last season.
Well, Bourne is up and walking off. Hopefully he's not hurt too badly. And we spoke about penalties, and last week against Bishops, injuries were also a big issue for the Redmen, and we're hopefully that McGill can limit that tonight.
Absolutely. Both teams struggling with injuries so far this year. We mentioned both starting quarterbacks out for their respective teams, but Concordia also struggling with an injury to their primary running back, Edom Niamati. That's why you'll see Mike Donnelly get the majority of the carries tonight, despite only averaging 2.5 yards per carry. And as we mentioned him right on cue there, as Donnelly stepped up and he was stuffed.
Defensive core of the Redmen, they're really making a big play on that 2nd down.
It looked like Alex Bernard getting up on the ball there to tackle alongside David Beauchamp. So that will bring up 3rd down and another punting situation for the Stingers as they lost about a yard there on the run by Donnelly.
Thompson already with that 102-yard return. Let's see what he can do on this one.
Absolutely. 7-0 is the score for the Redmen. 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining to play here in the first quarter. Ionita on to punt for the Stingers, and Thompson, as you mentioned, already run one back on the opening kickoff, is deep to receive the punt for the Redmen.
Kick.
Absolutely. Fields it at about his own 37-yard line, plunges up for a gain of about 10 yards on the return. Thompson led Canada West last year with 369 punt return yards with Simon Fraser University before transferring over to McGill this season. So the McGill offense back to work, leading 7-0. They'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Bondi hands off to Murphy, but flag on the play, and they'll blow it down immediately.
Looks to be a false start.
An interesting thing to watch tonight with this McGill offensive line is going to be how they compensate for the absence of Jonathan Remigio.
Yeah, you know, he's really a big piece of the puzzle in the offensive line of McGill Redmond, and hopefully there will not be too much of too many holes opening up due to his absence.
Well, Remigio was the starting center for the Redmen. Left guard Robert Ravensbergen will slide over to take his spot.
And with a backup quarterback, that's the timing of the snap is very important.
Absolutely. So a backup quarterback and a backup center. And Bondi fires across the middle. That is complete to Justin Edwards. Big pickup on the play, about 24 yards there.
So, Matt, we talked last week about veteran coach Sonny Wolf and what he told his team after the huge loss in the first week to Laval. And what do you think he told his team this week? I'll let this play develop, and then we can talk about that later on. But something to think about.
Tight set to Bondi's left as they operate on 1st and 10 from the Concordia 43-yard. Flags fly all over the field on that one. Looks like it's going to be against the Redmen. And as you may have heard on the PA, that's a legal procedure against McGill. They'll back up 5 yards and operate from 1st and 15 here to start. Bondi with Murphy in the backfield, looking to his left. He'll step up and scramble. Met immediately by Max Caron in the secondary, but picks up about 9 yards.
Score is still 7-0 Redmen. 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of this game.
Bondi not known as a quarterback who runs the ball often, perhaps a better passer than Jonathan Collin, who he's replacing, but Collin definitely was considered the better runner of the two. Set a QUFL record with 7 touchdowns in his first season. That was Collin. Bondi not noted as much of a runner, but does well to pick up something there. Bondi's pass into the hands of Sean Murphy, who can't receive it. Can't bring it in, operating out of the McGill backfield there, Murphy. Likely wouldn't have been enough for a first down, but regardless, that'll bring on the McGill kicking team as Austin Anderson's out to attempt another long one.
McGill really doing a great job of controlling the field position early on in this game. Stingers have not had it past the center field line so far.
So Anderson out to an attempt, a 46-yarder. He made a 49-yard field goal in the last game against Bishops in overtime. That was a career long. Hold is good, and the kick sails through the uprights. Austin Anderson from 46 yards.
He's got quite a leg on him. Had plenty of distance last week on that 49-yarder, and puts that one through without a problem.
So the score now, Redmond 10, Concordia 0. So with the 46-yard field goal by Austin Anderson, he's now 6 for 7 from 40 yards or longer in his career.
Anderson coming out of Canmore, Alberta.
Actually, the son of Gary Anderson, the famous NFL kicker, was the first NFL kicker never to miss a field goal or an extra point attempt in an NFL regular season. So a kicking pedigree in that family.
I did not know that. What an asset to have. You think he calls his dad for tips?
It doesn't look like he needs them. So there is Morsink starts out 1st and 10 from their own 35. Pass complete.
Well, I'm sure his father is proud of him.
Pass complete to Armouni. Gain of about 23 yards for Armouni there before he's tackled by Stefan Osman. Armuni's been the most targeted receiver for Concordia so far this season. That's his 9th reception, now up around 100 yards on the season. So first and 10 for the Stingers from the McGill 53 in McGill territory for the first time tonight as Morsink fires a pass, can't quite connect. He was looking for Arian Francois on the far side there.
Looks like Courtney Bishop there putting the pressure on Stingers quarterback and making him rush that throw.
Well, Courtney Bishop is one of those players the Redmen are going to need to step up. He was 4th on the Redmen last year with 22 solo tackles, but not a particularly good start to the year so far for Bishops, but that is an encouraging sign for the Redmen. So now 2nd and 10 for Concordia from the McGill 52-yard line. Morsink looking to his left. That pass well over the head of intended receiver Francois. Jeff Thompson, the return man who also plays cornerback, was in good coverage over the top there.
Really had no one in the area on that throw. Seemed to be quite an ill-advised throw.
Might have saw that Francois was covered well by Thompson on the play and deliberately thrown it into the open area. So Ionita comes on to punt again. McGill leading 10-0, just over 3.5 minutes remaining to play here in the first quarter. And this time perhaps wisely punting away from Jeff Thompson, as that will be fielded by, I think that was Jonathan Woodley for the Redmen.
Flag down right at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Woodley on the return. Pickup of, about 10 yards on the return for Woodley. So we are seeing Concordia now adopt the strategy used by Bishops last week. Don't kick the ball to Jeff Thompson.
Well, I couldn't have given them better advice myself. We know what Thompson is capable of, and we saw it early on in this game. The first points of the game going to the Redmen, 7-0 on a 102-yard run back.
So after the holding penalty on the return against McGill, they will take over 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line. Handoff to Kaprowski. Gain of about 8 yards on the play there.
It is now 10-0 after Austin Anderson added a field goal. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter.
Absolutely, as we've seen the Redmen after going away from Kaprowski last game. Murphy got the majority of the carries, almost double Kaprowski's carries in the last game against Bishops. We've seen a good mixture of the two running backs for McGill so far this game. Murphy's in now, but he'll move up to block. Bondi looks to his right, and that is complete over the middle to Patrick Dodd. Gain of about 5 yards on the play, and that will be a Redmen first down.
Moving the chains there and keeping this drive alive. Concordia has switched the tables of field position up to this point. McGill currently at the 25-yard line. Their own 25-yard line.
Only the 4th catch of the year for Dodd. As on 1st and 10, they give to Kaprowski again, maybe a gain of about a yard before.
Well, Matt, that's what I was talking about earlier before this game started, and my keys to the game was Bondi's opened up with a nice passing offense to begin with, and there was a passing set, then they went to a running play. So it didn't work quite as they hoped maybe, but not to go too far away from such strategies later on.
So 2nd and 9 for the Redmen, deep in their own territory. Bondi looking over the middle. That pass well out of reach of his intended receiver on the play, who was Patrick Dodd. He was in double coverage there.
Now, Ravensburg seems to be moving in pretty well for Remigio and doing a great job tonight. That's the center replacing Jonathan Remigio, the injured Jonathan Remigio.
Silva on to punt for the Redmen. End over end kick will be fielded by Robertson at about the 45-yard line. Not a ton of room up the left-hand side. 7-yard return on the play before he's tackled by Francis Bradette. Down on the play.
Minute and 3 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Absolutely, an early 10-0 lead for McGill as they look to snap a 10-game winless streak against the Stingers. So after the no yards penalty, it will be 1st and 10 for the Stingers from the McGill 50-yard line. Best field position they've had all night. Handoff is to Edom Niamati.
Now, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but aside from the first part of the first overtime period of last week's game, is this the first lead that that McGill has had all season?
You would be absolutely correct in that regard. First lead of the year for the Redmen.
First lead of the year, and important to get off to that early start for the Redmen.
Niamati picked up about 3 yards on the play, so that'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Stingers. Looks to the right. That is complete to Liam Maroney. Right around first down yardage.
Oh, he got plenty. He is across the 40-yard line.
Yeah, pickup of about 9 yards on the play for Maroney. Interesting note about Maroney, used to be a quarterback. Actually won the Quebec University Football League Rookie of the Year award in his first year with the Stingers as a quarterback before the Stingers moved him over to wide receiver.
Well, he broke a tackle there. He was hit before the stick and made an extra effort to pick up the first down.
So 1st and 10 for the Stingers, operating from the McGill 39-yard last play of the first quarter here, and Morsink is going to look long down the right-hand side, and that one in and out of the hands of Armouni.
He must be kicking himself over that dropped pass there. I didn't think they got the snap off before the quarter time was off the clock.
Pardon me, that last pass intended for Deschamps, not Armouni. So at the end of the first quarter, McGill with an early 10-0 lead on a 102-yard kickoff return on the opening kickoff by Jeff Thompson, and an Austin Anderson 46-yard field goal.
You just saw Alex Hutchison pumping up the crowd there, putting his arms up in the air to try and get the Redmond crowd behind him on this defensive stop.
So 2nd and 10 for the Stingers from the McGill 39-yard line. Morsink, pass complete down the left-hand side to Maroney. And we've seen them go to Maroney early and often so far today. That's his 3rd reception of the game. And easily enough, about 14 yards picked up on that one, so another Stingers first down as they march into McGill territory.
Stingers took a while for them to warm up, but it seems that they're in the groove of their offense right now.
Morsink looking to his right, and that one through the hands of Jesse Briggs, the linebacker. Pass was intended for Armouni, but nowhere near him on that one.
Now if he's a DB or he might make that catch, but you wouldn't expect a catch there from a DE, from a linebacker, excuse me.
Yeah, Briggs not quite able to get his hands on that one and come down with it. So Morsink on 2nd and 10, looking to his right, and that one just out of the reach of Rodriguez.
Overthrown by Morsink. That'll
So
bring out the field goal kicking unit for the Stingers.
Absolutely. First time tonight we've seen Rene Paredes. He's only attempted 1 field goal so far this year. He missed that attempt. But this one will be about a 33-yard field goal attempt for Paredes.
An attempt to bring the Stingers within 7 points.
And so the 33-yard field goal is good by Paredes to make the score McGill 10, Concordia 3. Field goals tonight brought to you by Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings.
Now, as I brought up earlier, Sonny Wolf obviously had a lot to talk to his team about after last week. Must have been quite encouraged by that last-ditch effort by McGill to tie the game and then take the lead in overtime. But what do you think he told his team coming into this week, Matt?
I'm sure that the Redmen just looking to build upon the positives for last week. Bondi throwing his first career touchdown. That was a huge step forward for the third-year quarterback. Making just his 3rd career start here tonight. I'm sure that touchdown is going to allow him to build on his confidence.
100%, and he looks to be stepping into the role of quarterback and leader of this team quite well in the early goings of this one. I thought they should have gone for the 2-point conversion when they tied the game last week. Something to think about, taking more risks when you have the opportunity to win the game.
For those of you who didn't see it last week, McGill in a double overtime thriller against Bishop's, a 26-19 lead as the kickoff is fielded by Thompson. He's already returned 1 tonight, and he's got room up the right-hand side again. Thompson eludes the tackle of Paredes.
Absolutely tremendous move there, Matt. He looked to be down around the 40 with nowhere to go, but he broke a tackle, made a move, made someone miss, and got down to about the 26-yard line.
Finally tackled by Travis Brent. A huge return by Jeff Thompson.
Absolutely having an incredible night so far tonight.
82-yard kickoff return by Thompson. Already had one for 102 yards earlier tonight, and then just ripped off an 82-yard kickoff return to give Redmen great position down at the Concordia 30. Handoff to Murphy, up the right-hand side, gain of, probably about 5 yards on the play.
And Murphy out of Ottawa, Ontario. He's a big guy, 5'10", 210 pounds. As I mentioned last week, the platoon back system, as you refer to it, Matt, is working pretty well for the Redmen this year.
Absolutely. 2nd and 6 after a gain of 4 on the play by Murphy. Bondi looks to his right, and that ball well underthrown, intended for Murphy, who came out of the backfield.
Looks like that ball might have been tipped at the line by number 93 of the Stingers. That is Louis Talon.
So the Redmen can't do much with the great field position provided by Thompson, and the field goal unit will come on. Austin Anderson now owns 3 of the 5 longest field goals in McGill history, as he's connected from 49 yards and twice from 46 yards, including once tonight. This one will be about a 27-yarder for Anderson.
It's nice when the records you're trying to break are your own.
Anderson's kick from 27 yards is good.
And that'll wipe the field goal right off the board by the Concordia Stingers and move the lead back to 10. It is 13-3 Redmen with 12 minutes and 12 seconds in the second quarter.
Austin Anderson connected on almost 86% of his field goals last season. had only attempted one field goal coming into tonight, but now has been good from 46 and 27 yards.
And I didn't mention this in my early keys to the game, but special teams for McGill coming up big. Always been a strong point and really making a difference tonight.
Absolutely. Thompson's got 2 returns, 82 and 102 yards as the Concordia offense goes to work from their own 35. That is complete to Harrington.
Nice adjustment on the catch by Harrington. Got one hand on it. Kind of placed the ball in a region where he could then reach out and grab it.
Gain of about 24 yards on the play for Harrington. So Concordia moves into McGill territory, 1st and 10 from the McGill 51-yard line. Morsink looks to his right in the flat to Mahoney. That one was incomplete, skipped off the turf before going into Mahoney's hands. (13-3) lead here for the Redmen. Just over 11.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter of play. As we mentioned in the intro, these games so important. Both teams last year finished with identical 3-5 records, but McGill missed out on the playoffs because Concordia won the only meeting between these two teams last year. So since head-to-head is the first tiebreaker in the CIS, these games are extremely important. One of 2 meetings this year between McGill and Concordia. They'll meet again on October 9th.
Over the first 2 games of the season, McGill leading Concordia by 28-24 in first downs.
So Morsink sets up that one, almost picked off for the second time in and out of the hands of Jesse Briggs as he's had a chance to bring down 2 tonight.
2 McGill defensive players had an opportunity on that ball. The second one was created by the near pick. Ball up in the air there.
So with the incompletion, that'll bring up 3rd and 10 and the punting situation for the Stingers. Deep for the Redmen are Jonathan Woodley and Jeff Thompson. Dimitru Ionita on to punt for the Stingers. A nice punt gets Thompson fielded by Thompson over by the sidelines, cutting back to the middle. But he's met by a gang of Stingers tacklers led by Phil Patenot-Lavallee.
Now, is there any stipulation on how many times you can be the CIS College Football Player of the Week?
I do not believe so. I'm assuming you're referring to Thompson already being named the CIS Special Teams Player of the Week in the first week of the season.
I absolutely am, and with a game with 184 return yards so far, he's got a good chance for a candidacy at a second.
He had 144 kickoff return yards in that first week game as Kaprowski plows up the middle for the Redmen, gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Now with a 10-point lead here and 10 minutes to go in the first half, McGill's looking to avoid any big mistakes and giving up points to the Stingers on offense, especially avoiding turnovers.
So 2nd and 7 for the Redmen, operating from their own 18-yard line. That one overthrown. Intended receiver was Justin Edwards, the freshman who we've seen take on a prominent role in this McGill offense so far this season.
Disappointing because Edwards was open and he had another receiver deeper down the field. Looks like he couldn't decide where he wanted to go with the football and tried to get it to Edwards, but just overthrown.
Edwards is a big target, 6'5", the freshman receiver. So Silva on to punt for the Redmen.
Huge kick by Silva.
Robertson backpedaling, fields it at the Concordia 42. Return of about 10 yards. before he's met by a gang of Redmen. 49-yard punt for Silva.
And judging by last week's game, we had an attendance of 1,523. That's the official statistic. And it looks like tonight that we're over, I would say, 4,000. That's just my personal estimation, but we've got a lot of people in our stands, and great to see.
So Morsink takes over for the Stingers. 1st and 10 at Concordia 52, and that one almost picked off as Matthew Quigley jumped the route, pass intended for Liam Mahoney, but Quigley almost got in front of it.
Quigley saw that pass coming from a mile away and really had to jump on the ball. If the receiver caught it, he was right there to make the tackle, but he prevented the ball from being caught.
Tough night for Morsink so far. 2nd and 10.
9 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Morsink looking to his right. That pass just out of reach of Aramuni.
He does have a cannon, though, Morsink. He's got a good arm. Seems to just not be able to find his groove tonight with his receiving core. And a clean game so far by both teams. Neither team suffering too badly from penalties. It's a pleasure to see after last week's game in this very stadium against Bishops, where McGill was heavily penalized.
Ionita on to punt for the Stingers. His punt down the right-hand side, out of bounds at about the 25-yard line with a Stinger standing right beside the ball. Only a 33-yard punt for Ionita.
And it seems that the Stingers just cannot learn their lesson. They keep kicking it right to Thompson. That one as well in the direction of Thompson.
Well, you can see they're trying to pin him along the sidelines now. Thompson, we've seen him rip off kickoff returns of 82 and 102 yards already tonight. So after the no yards penalty, McGill will take over at their own 41-yard line. Bondi 4 for 8 so far tonight for 50 yards. He'll look to his right. That complete to Charles-Antoine Sinat, his first catch of the night. His second catch of the night. Gain of about 6 yards.
Just making it ever harder for anyone to come close to that record. He has all-time leading player in CIS football history and receptions.
He's benefited from a pass-first McGill offense for the last 5 seasons, something we're seeing again tonight. Bondi, 2nd and 5, looking to his right again for Sinat, but couldn't hook up with the CIS Academic All-Canadian.
The scouting report on Bondi is that even though Collins is out for the season, Bondi does have a better arm than Collins, a better passer, and he really, like I said, getting his groove tonight, finding some different receivers and allowing the Redmen to control the pace of this game.
Stingers defense doing a good job so far tonight. McGill's benefited from far superior field position. The only touchdown of the night is a special teams touchdown by Thompson. So they've done well to hold the McGill offense in check as Silva comes out to punt, and it is another booming punt fielded by Robertson. And he'll break it up to the right-hand side, makes a diving leap over Frederick Rochon there.
He leapfrogged Rochon, and if he could have kept his feet, he could have got a few more yards there. But what an athletic play. Unbelievable.
That was a 54-yard punt for Thomas Silva. As we mentioned, he's averaging almost 41 yards per punt this season. And this one looks like it will be coming back a bit. Tripping penalty on the Stingers. So they will start out in the shadows of their own goalpost on the 7-yard line. Morsink, 6 for 11 so far tonight for 63 yards. Targeting Mahoney heavily. Coming out of the backfield, Mahoney's got only 3 receptions, but has been targeted 5 times already tonight.
Score is still 13-3 Redmond. 7 minutes to play the first half.
Morsink fakes the handoff. That's complete to Francois on the right-hand side, but pickup of maybe half a yard, if that.
McGill defense stepping up big tonight.
Bob Lefebvre in on the tackle there for the Redmen. So Concordia, 2nd and 10 from their own 6-yard line. Bondi looking deep down the left-hand side. That one out of the reach, intended for Eli Aramuni.
Good coverage on the play by Joff Gorin, number 23.
Joff Gorin, as we mentioned earlier tonight, the only defensive back to start in the same position in all 8 games last year. Finished 3rd on the team. He's 3rd on the team so far this year with 9 tackles, 8 of those solo.
So, Matt, with both teams looking to get their first victory of the season, this is a really big game.
Well, Concordia actually has 1 victory already this season. They won their opening game against the Bishop's Gators, who McGill lost to last week. Ionita in his own end zone will elect to concede the safety. So with that, McGill will take a 15-3 lead with just under 6 minutes remaining to play here in the second quarter.
I apologize for the mistake on that statistic there. But regardless, a big game for both teams to set a tone. This is a huge rivalry. Both schools located in the downtown area, and this one's been going on for a long time. The rivalry between these two schools, and McGill controlling the tempo early on.
Absolutely. As we've mentioned earlier, this tonight is the 42nd annual Shaughnessy Cup. To give you a little bit of background, the cup is named after Frank Shaughnessy, a legendary football coach who coached McGill's football team for 17 seasons. Shaughnessy actually introduced the forward pass to Canadian University football in 1921 and lobbied for 10 years before the Canadian Rugby Football Union revised the rule and adopted the forward pass in 1931. Shaughnessy is an inductee of Canada's Football Hall of Fame, as well as a posthumous induction into Canada's Baseball Hall of Fame. So we honor his memory here tonight for the 42nd time. This game played every year between McGill and Concordia. Originally was played between McGill and Loyola before Concordia University took over that campus. So with a 15-3 lead for the Redmen, Thompson, pardon me, that's not Thompson, that is Woodley. Fields it for the Redmen.
Good return yards as well. Maybe he's feeding off some of that energy from Thompson.
So again, good field position for the Redmen. They'll start off at their own 44-yard line after the 18-yard return by Woodley. Bondi hands off to Kaprowski up the left-hand side. Nice gain for Kaprowski. Plows for a pickup of about 9 yards on first down there.
The choice to take that safety by the Stinger shows that a lack of trust in their defense and giving away 2 points to the Redmen and extending their lead.
Well, I mean, with the range Austin Anderson has showed so far today, even if the defense were able to get a stop after if they had elected to punt, Anderson already connected from 46 yards tonight, connected from 49 yards in the previous game. So obviously worried about the leg of Anderson and electing to take the safety. Penalty after the play to Concordia, an unnecessary roughness flag there.
McGill actually benefiting from some poor penalties by Concordia tonight.
Concordia also struggled with discipline last game, up over 100 yards against Montreal as Bondi comes out on first down. Pass complete to Justin Edwards, and Bondi took a late hit there.
And right on cue, continued issues with the discipline by the Stingers. That'll add on to the completion and move the ball further up the field for the Redmen.
Camille Hutchinson hitting Bondi well after the play there, roughing the passer flag, and that'll give the Redmen another first down as they march deep into Stinger territory.
Already well within field goal range for the leg of Anderson.
12-point lead for the Redmen. They lead 15-3 with 4.5 minutes remaining to play here in the first half. Bondi fakes the handoff to Kaprowski, pump fakes, fires again. That's complete to Sinat. Gain of about 6 yards on the play for Sinat.
Good fake to Kaprowski, and I really like what McGill is showing us right now. With a little bit of misdirection, opening up the playbook a little bit. I felt that last week versus Bishops, there was a certain tentative nature to the play calling, possibly due to the newness of Bondi in the system.
So after the completion to Sinat for a pickup of about 6, it's 2nd and 4 for the Redmen. Handoff to Kaprowski. He picks up looks like about enough for a first down there.
Spilled right around the 20, and the signal is a first down.
Gain of 5 yards before he is...
The McGill Redmen doing a good job of clock management here in the second quarter, and right before halftime, controlling the time of possession and not letting the Stingers touch the ball.
An excellent mix thus far of passing and running plays for the Redmen offense, as we saw Concordia struggle against the Montreal running game last week, gave up over 200 yards rushing, as now we see Kaprowski again.
Kaprowski staying on his feet after the initial hit and getting the first down.
Gain of about 12 yards for Kaprowski on the play, and that will take them down to the 8-yard line, and another McGill first down.
First and goal for the Redmen.
McGill operating at a 60% efficiency in the red zone. Those have all been touchdowns for McGill. They have not attempted a field goal from the red zone thus far this season. Just under 3.5 minutes remaining to play. First and goal for the Redmen from the 8-yard line. Handoff to Murphy. He's met immediately at the line.
Bondi seemed to be...
by Louis Taillon.
Bondi seemed to be kind of shaken up on that roughing the passer play. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the fact that McGill is moving towards more of a run-based offense at this point of the game. Could also just have to do with the fact that we are nearing the end of the second quarter and trying to manage the clock a bit.
Flag down on the play. That also could be a result of, that also could be because Concordia has given up an average of 217 rushing yards per game so far this season.
So whatever the reason, a good coaching move by Sonny Wolf in this position to hand over the ball to Kaprowski leading the game and in rushing attempts between him and John Murphy.
So the flag was holding, so that'll back McGill up 10 yards. And they'll try first and goal from the 18-yard line. Bondi looking to the end zone, and that one, looked like it was just out of reach.
Well, he came down with it, I tell you, but he was out of bounds.
Yeah, Thomas Fortin. We saw almost an identical play that tied the game with 25 seconds remaining. A corner route for Fortin was the
tremendously athletic play there by Fortin, but just ran out of space in the end zone and couldn't bring it down in bounds.
I was saying, that it was that exact corner route that tied the game against Bishops with 25 seconds remaining in last week's home opener.
A play that McGill is very confident with.
There was a flag on the play, was offside against the Redmen, so the Stingers will decline that penalty. And McGill will try 2nd and goal from the 18-yard line. Bondi fakes the handoff to Kaprowski. Pass complete to Dodd, and he'll get down to about the 4-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle there by Max Caron.
Really making it easy for field goal kicker Anderson to come in and make a chip shot here. What do you think about the possibility of going for it here on 3rd down and trying getting a touchdown, really put the Redmen out in front?
Well, the kicking unit is coming onto the field with a 12-point lead right now. Probably better to try and make it a 2-touchdown lead.
I would definitely agree with you. Last week, Bishop's making a bold move against the Redmen to go for a fake field goal, which resulted in a touchdown, if you remember that play last week.
So Austin Anderson on to attempt his 3rd field goal of the game. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, pardon me, there is Anderson. Looks like a 12-yard field goal attempt for Anderson. And the 12-yard field goal attempt is good.
Kind of a difficult angle there, but Anderson made it work and put it right through.
Anderson now 3 for 3 on the game.
Score is now 18-3 Redmen. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the half. We just heard the PA announcer advise fans not to sit in the stairwells. So not only have we filled the stadium tonight, but we are over capacity in our section and in the section that's open to students, and that's a wonderful thing to see.
Absolutely. Would like to quickly thank our 2nd quarter and halftime sponsor, Domino's. So the Stingers take over. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining to play in the first half as Morsink throws out of the backfield to...
it's like number 16.
Pardon me, that is Aramuni.
Aramuni quick on his feet there.
Pickup of about 13 yards on the play by Aramuni. And another first down for Concordia. So Concordia trailing by 15, trying to get some points on the board with just over 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
I tell you, I like the energy of the Redmen tonight.
Morsink, that pass complete, hauled down by Michael Harrington. Short gain, about 4 yards on the play.
Bob Lefebvre on the tackle. 6'10", 200 pounds, out of Montreal, Quebec, a native to the city. Lefebvre in his 4th year at McGill.
So that brings up 2nd and 6 for the Stingers from their own 48-yard line. Morsink, good protection. He's got Mahoney over on the right-hand side, and Mahoney steps out of bounds right around the first down marker. Pickup of about 6 for Mahoney there.
Yeah, and it looks like he has enough for the first down.
Seen Mahoney targeted early and often in this game. No surprise there. In 7 games last year, caught 45 balls for 619 yards and 4 touchdowns. So no surprise to see Morsink utilizing Mahoney.
Officials often calling a pretty tight game tonight.
So Morsink with an empty set, looks to his left. That is complete again to Mahoney. Tackled and brought down by Jesse Briggs.
That'll bring the Stingers to about the 44-yard line of McGill. Concordia trying to get into field goal range or better before the end of this first half.
Minute and 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. Stingers 2nd and 4 from the McGill 44-yard line. Morsink complete to his left. That's Mahoney again.
Moves the chains again.
Mahoney has caught the last 3 balls thrown by Morsink.
McGill takes a timeout to give their defense a breather. Important down coming up. 1st and 10 for the Concordia Stingers with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to go. McGill will try and stop the Stingers from putting any more points on the board here before the half, but I got to tell you, it looks like Concordia is starting to set their feet and getting some momentum late in this second quarter.
Absolutely. Morsink getting good protection so far tonight. This Stingers offensive line had given up 6 sacks in the 2 previous games, but Morsink only been hurried once so far tonight. That might have something to do with the Stingers' new offensive line coach, 8-time CFL All-Star Brian Chu, who played his whole career here at Molson Stadium with the Montreal Alouettes.
Our mascot, Marty the Martlin, currently in the McGill end zone with the football, and he's got a partner in crime out there, a guy in a full green suit, adding a little bit of extra pep to the McGill cheering squad
Perhaps a
tonight.
nod to the famous Vancouver Canucks green men who gained notoriety during this year's playoff run. So Morsink now complete down the middle. That's caught by Armouni, and he'll get down to about the 3-yard line.
Inside the 3, looks to be just at about the 1.5, Matt. Very close to that goal line. Knocking on the door here with 58 seconds left in the first half. McGill Redmond leading 18-3. Scoring summary on this game. Thompson on the opening play of the game ran it back 102 yards for the touchdown. Had another return for 82 to put the Redmen close to getting another score. And here we are.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it is 1st and goal for the Stingers from the 3-yard line, as Concordia will opt to take a timeout. Just under 40 seconds remaining here to play in the first half. So we'll see what Concordia can do on their second trip into the red zone here so far tonight. Came away with a field goal last time.
So McGill added another touchdown, a field goal, and the election by the Concordia to take the 2-point safety. Adds up to 18 for McGill.
Just the one touchdown for McGill, I believe, as well as 3 field goals by Austin Anderson, and the safety conceded by Concordia.
Thank you for correcting me there, Matt. I am not a math major.
And the 1 field goal for Concordia kicker Rene Paredes. So Stingers 1st and goal from the McGill 3-yard line. And that is complete. Edem Niamati takes a throw in the flat from Morsink and runs it in for a 3-yard touchdown.
Well, that score should really make for an exciting football game here. 18-9 currently, and Concordia coming out to attempt the extra point.
Paredes on to attempt the extra point. Flag on the play.
Looks like they'll move the Stingers back 5 yards, reattempt that one. Waiting for the official call on the field.
If the field goal is good, Concordia would move to within 8 points of the Redmen. Currently, sorry, go ahead.
We've got a live one here. Absolutely beautiful night for football. I could not ask to be in any other place than where I am right now. Really lucky to have a great game going on here.
Offside McGill was the call on the play. And Concordia will have to re-kick.
Let's see if McGill can come up big here on special teams and block the point to keep them from getting within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
So Preedy's on to attempt the extra point for the second time after the offside flag on McGill. Extra point is good. So with that, McGill 18, Concordia 10. With 35 seconds left to play here in the first half, while we have a moment, I'd like to thank our second quarter and halftime sponsor, Domino's Pizza. With pizzas this good, we decided to find a new photographer, you. Send Domino's a picture of your pizza at domino's.com, and they might just use it in an ad. Out-of-town scoreboard to report for you. Currently in Sherbrooke, the Sherbrooke Verteor lead the Mount Allison 20-10 at the end of the first half. So Sherbrooke with a 20-10 lead. Sherbrooke winless so far this season. Opened their Quebec Conference play 0-2, and now in the intra-conference play with the Atlantic Division, trying to pick up a win. So with 35 seconds remaining, these Stingers.
See the squib kick.
Squib kick, but fielded by Thompson. He's got room again up the right-hand side. We've already seen him return one for a touchdown, but that time forced out at the McGill 49-yard line by Ionita.
He is absolutely incredible. Just got tremendous wheels on him, and he's got the combination of quickness and speed. Now, quickness is the initial, start. Once he gets the ball, he's immediately going, and once he gets rolling, it's really hard to get him down.
Well, you saw Concordia squib kicking that one to try and keep the ball away from him, but he still picks it up and manages to give McGill great field position here with 25 seconds to play. So McGill takes over 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line as Murphy plows up the right-hand side.
I believe that was Kaprowski.
Pardon me, that was Kaprowski, my mistake. Thank you for the correction.
We're here to help each other, Matt,
Yeah, gain of about 8 yards on the play for Kaprowski. As the clock winds down, just about 10 seconds remaining to play here in the first half. Bondi, handoff to Kaprowski. He'll gain about 4.
McGill electing to head into the locker room here, looks like, with an 8-point lead. Not willing to take any risk with throwing the ball down the field. I think that's a good decision, that it's tempting to try and put more points on the board right before half. But with all the momentum really going our way, going McGill's way, it is nice to see a conscious decision by Sonny Wolf to go into the halftime with the lead that we have.
The Redmen do elect to take a timeout, and it'll be interesting to see here if they are sending on the field goal unit. And wow, they are going to go for it. We've already seen Austin Anderson connect on 3 field goals tonight. And this will be a 55-yard attempt. His career long is 49 yards, and he hit that in the last game. In the last game, which was the home opener. He hit that in overtime against Bishops. The McGill record for longest field goal is 51 yards, set by Greg Ashley all the way back in 1981. So Anderson attempting from 55 yards here. Kick is up, and it will be short and right. So Anderson no good from 55 yards. And that looks like pardon me, that is Taylor coming out with the ball for the Stingers. Finally brought down by Alex Bernard, the linebacker for McGill. So an ambitious try by the Redmen, sending Anderson out there for a 55-yard field goal attempt. But
definitely, and he was almost there. And it was a good conditions to try a kick from that distance. Cool night, not a lot of wind.
Well, he was 6 for 7 lifetime on kicks greater than 40 yards. So now 6 for 8. As that wraps up the first half with McGill leading 18-10. We're going to take a short break, but we will be back with you on the Streaming Sports Network of Canada with the second half of play.
Looking forward to a good one.
And welcome back inside Molson Stadium on this beautiful Friday evening, where the McGill Redmen are leading the Concordia Stingers by a score of 18-0 at the end of the first half. A quick scoring summary for you. McGill opened the scoring on the opening kickoff when Jeff Thompson took it 102 yards all the way for a touchdown. Just 19 seconds into the game, Thompson opened the scoring. Then, about 9 minutes later, Austin Anderson connected on a field goal from 46 yards to give McGill a 10-0 lead. Concordia's Rene Paredes hit a 32-yard field goal to bring Concordia back within a touchdown. That was early in the second quarter. Then just about a minute later, after another huge kickoff return by Thompson, an 82-yarder, Austin Anderson connected on a 27-yard field goal to increase the McGill lead to 10. Concordia would then concede a safety with just under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Austin Anderson would connect on his third field goal of the night, a 12-yarder, with about 3 minutes remaining to play in the second half to make the score 18-3 for the Redmen. But then, with 35 seconds remaining in the half, Edom Niamati would take a 3-yard pass from Terrence Morsink to make the score McGill 18, Concordia 10. And so, Kamran, what have you been impressed with so far in the first half of play?
Well, Matt, clearly the big story tonight is Jeff Thompson recording 221 yards on kickoff returns alone, and that makes him the all-time leader in Quebec Football League history. Also, I have been impressed largely with the play of Ryan Bondi tonight, stepping up and really stepping up big tonight, delivering to many different receivers and getting into a groove here, really providing some good offensive play for the Redmen.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, Jeff Thompson, 221 yards on just 3 kickoff returns. That is a Quebec Conference single-game record. And the transfer student transferred over from Simon Fraser University, also spent time down at West Virginia University in the NCAA.
The other story tonight, of course, is third annual Fill the Crowd night here at Percival Molson Stadium, and I think we succeeded in doing so. The Stingers fans, of course, making their way out here to support their team, and McGill Redmen as well. And
so Anderson to kick off. Robertson will field it for the Stingers. Brings it up before he is tripped up. Gets to about the 24-yard line. That was Matthew Quigley on the tackle for the Redmen.
Quigley has come up with a couple good plays on special teams, having a great game here.
Yeah, leads the Redmen with 4.5 tackles so far this game. So the Concordia offense goes to work. 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Terrence Morsink in for the injured Robert McKay.
Morsink will be looking to have a better half here than he did in the first half.
Well, Morsink actually put up some quite good numbers. 16 for 25 for 175 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. So he'll go to work. 1st and 10. Short completion.
Good gang tackling there by the Redmen.
That was to Aaron Mooney. Pickup of, well, no gain on the play, actually, before he was tackled by Peltreau, the McGill linebacker. Peltreau, the only linebacker to return from last year's starters for the Redmen. Aaron Mooney, that was his 4th reception of the night. Has 72 yards so far this game. That's a Stingers high. So Morsink, 2nd and 9. Goes deep down the right-hand side, and that is picked off. Matthew Quigley with the interception for the Redmen.
And we were just talking about Quigley's impact on this game, and there he comes up, both on special teams with the tackle and then with the interception on defense to give the McGill Redmen the ball at the 44-yard line.
And that's sorely needed for the Redmen secondary. Hadn't caused an interception yet this year. That is their first interception of the season as a unit. Quite a lot of turnover this year in the secondary as longtime starters Anthony Luca and Greg Landry were lost to graduation. But here McGill will take over first and 10 from the 45-yard line.
Electing to run the ball there on first down, pick up of about 4 yards, looks like.
Yep, Kaprowski on the carry.
And we had a couple near picks in the first half, McGill did. And nice to see the Redmen finally get one there.
Yeah, Jesse Briggs had a couple of interceptions go right through his hands. One hit him right in the mask, but he wasn't able to bring it in. But there, Quigley having a big game, like we said, leading all McGill tacklers with 4.5, and now with an interception as Bondi goes to work. 2nd and 6, was looking for Justin Edwards over on the right-hand side, but just out of reach of Edwards. The rookie receiver has become a big part of the McGill offense so far this year, averaging 17.9 yards per catch. Came into today with 7 receptions. That's second only to Charles-Antoine Sinat.
And Anderson will come on to attempt a 44-yard field goal. They're looking over towards the sideline. Looks like Redmen had some personnel confusion on the.
So the Redmen will elect to take a timeout. Didn't have the correct number of players on the field. As this one will be, looks about 48 yards, 47 or 48-yard field goal attempt for Anderson. He's already connected from 46 yards tonight.
And we know all about the strong leg of Anderson.
Yeah, 48-yard attempt for Anderson will be upcoming. Like we mentioned, the son of former NFL kicker Gary Anderson. He's 6 for 8 lifetime on field goals longer than 40 yards. Holds 3 of the top 5 longest kicks in McGill history, and this would join that list. This would be the 3rd longest if he makes it. So from 48 yards, Anderson is good. Austin Anderson from 48 yards, and McGill has a 21-10 lead.
No doubt about that one, Matt. He had the length and plenty of leg on that kick right through the center of the uprights.
So now in the last 2 games, Anderson has connected on a 49, a 48, and a 46-yarder. The 5 longest kicks in McGill history, Anderson now owns 4 of them. Sorry, that would be the 6 longest kicks. He has 3 kicks have been tied at 46 yards. 2 of those are Anderson. So here comes Concordia on offense. Morsink's pass is complete to Donnelly coming out of the backfield.
Donnelly put a hit on number 10. Number 20. Matthew Quigley, who we were just speaking about, trying to make the tackle, wasn't able to bring down the receiver.
And one of the big stories tonight, Morsink, apart from the interception on the last drive, has been quite effective, but the Stingers' running game has gone nowhere. Donnelly only 1 yard rushing, and Niamati only 3 yards rushing. So that's 4 total yards rushing for the Stingers' running backs as Morsink, that was not Morsink, that was Mahoney in under center. As we mentioned, the wide receiver is a former quarterback, and that time he gets enough for a Stingers first down.
Another story tonight is the backup quarterbacks. Both Bondi and Morsink are filling in for injured first stringers on their respective squads.
And so Morsink, one of those 2 backups, filling in for the injured Robert McKay. 1st and 10 from the Stingers' 45-yard line. That pass in and out of the hands of Michael Harrington.
And Michael Harrington really dropped that ball right on the numbers from Morsink, and a catch he definitely should have made. Harrington, an art student from LaSalle, Quebec. He last played for Varnier College. Vanier College under Coach Peter Chrysomalis.
So 2nd and 10 for the Stingers from their own 45-yard line. Morsink looks to his left. He'll air that one out over the middle, and that is caught.
Beautiful
Dan
throw and
Rodriguez.
catch. Beautiful throw and catch to Rodriguez. That ball was a perfect spiral, and it looks like there's the Concordia receiver is down on the field. His helmet is off, and the training staff is going to come on and tend to him.
So as Rodriguez is shaken up on the play, let's take a minute to look at the upcoming schedules for these teams. McGill's next game will be 1 week from tonight against the Montreal Carabin, just across the mountain at Sepsum Stadium. They then return home to play Sherbrooke on October 2nd at 1 p.m. That game will be available right here on the Streaming Sports Network of Canada. And Concordia's next game will also be next weekend against the Bishop's Gators. So Rodriguez shaken up on the play and taken out. Morsink comes out with an empty backfield looking for Mahoney, and that one broken up very well. Believe that was Joff Gorin in on the coverage.
Gorin not really playing the football on that defensive play. That's a dangerous thing. Oftentimes you'll see pass interference calls when the defensive back doesn't turn his head around to see where the ball is. But by the time he went to make the play, the ball had already been touched by the receiver. So avoided the penalty and kept the ball from being completed.
So 2nd and 10 for the Stingers from the McGill 32-yard line. Mahoney looking right, looking end zone again. That one intended for Aaron Mooney, broken up again by Joff Gorin.
Another fantastic defensive play by Gorin and preventing some gain of yardage here by the Concordia Stingers, keeping them out of scoring territory.
A big night for the third-year Montreal native. Gorin, the only defensive back to start in the same position all 8 games last year. He had 32 tackles and 4 knockdowns last season. We've already seen him with 2 knockdowns here tonight.
I've got to tell you, though, Morsink really showing the power of his arm on those last 2 throws. Perfect spiral balls down the field.
Got a preseason hockey score to fill you in on from McConnell Arena, just down to our left here, where the Redmen are opening their 135th season of ice hockey after 2 periods. McGill leading the Carleton Ravens 5-2. So,
and for all our viewers out there, we will be bringing you hockey next year once the regular season starts.
Starting in October, actually, Kamran and I will be covering the Redmen hockey from over at McConnell Arena.
Expanding our platform already.
Yeah, as the Redmen look to qualify for nationals for the 5th time in the last 6 years. Like to mention that our second half here is brought to you by Ye Old Orchard with 3 locations in Montreal. Ye Old Orchard is your neighborhood pub.
Just want to mention Patrick Bourgon just gingerly walking off the field there on that play, hopping on his right foot.
Bourgon the safety, but here comes the attempt at a 39-yard field goal for Paredes, and it is good. So Paredes connects on a 39-yard field goal to make the score McGill 21, Concordia 13.
Rene Paredes, a leisure sciences student at Concordia from Pierrefonds, Quebec. Previously played at John Abbott College under Coach Lou Chapman in his 4th year. Paredes puts the Concordia Stingers back to within 8 points.
So Paredes, 2 for 2 on the night thus far, has connected on field goals of 32 and now 39 yards.
Score is 21-13. McGill Redmond out in front over the Concordia Stingers. 9 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the third quarter.
A much-needed drive there for Morsink. We saw him open the second half by throwing an interception. Matthew Quigley got the first interception of the season for the McGill Redmen. But a nice drive put together by Morsink, especially on a beautiful throw to Dan Rodriguez for about 30 yards.
And Thompson's back there. Once again, they squib it.
And they will squib kick it.
But it ends up in it. Oh.
Sorry, that'll be picked up by Jonathan Woodley. Run out to about the 35-yard line.
Thompson's got to share the wealth a little bit and give his other return man at least a few yards on the kick returns here.
Well, as we mentioned, with 221 kickoff return yards so far this game, Jeff Thompson is likely not going to be seeing that ball in the air anywhere near him
for sure. A career night for him.
A Quebec Conference record, 221 yards for Thompson. Out of the backfield, Murphy takes the pass from Bondi. Pickup of maybe 2 yards on the play.
Got hit pretty hard there after crossing the McGill's 35-yard line.
So 2nd and 8 for the Redmen, operating from their own 37-yard line.
Big conversion here upcoming.
Bondi has looked good so far this game. Now 8 for 17 for about 160 yards. He'll drop back to pass again, looking down the left-hand side for Fortin, and that's just through his hands.
Right through the hands of Fortin. I was ready to call a big play on that one, and just through the hands of Fortin. So McGill will come out and punt the ball away.
So we've seen the McGill offense try to spread the wealth a little bit more so far tonight. They've only targeted Charles-Antoine Sinat 4 times, and if you know anything about this McGill offense, you know that is not a lot. He had 15 catches coming into tonight, which was more than the rest of the receiving corps combined. The punt by Silva is a high and long one yet again. Chris Robertson fields it at the Bishop 26-yard line. He will cut to the left. Got a very good block on that play, but ultimately picks up about 8 yards on the play.
Robertson, a very athletic return man, a multi-talented player. Silva having a great night punting the football.
Yeah, averaged 45.8 yards punting in the first half. That one was about a 46-yarder. As McGill special teams continue to be the story here tonight. We've seen Austin Anderson has connected on now 4 field goals.
Something with Silva's technique, he manages to kick the ball in a spiral. The ball is spinning in a spiral. I think that's what provides for a lot of his distance. Great technique, and another McGill Redmond down on the field, being tended to at the moment.
th season of football here at McGill. Getting off to a good start here, the 42nd annual Shaughnessy Cup game.
And the first season that we are bringing you broadcasting via SSN Canada.
We thank you for joining us wherever you may be. Matt Chesser alongside Kamran Arya.
And we are more than happy to be here on this gorgeous night for football.
So Morsink takes over, 1st and 10 from the Concordia 18, electing to throw on first down, and that is picked. Oh, looked like it was in the hands of Bradette, and yes, it will be intercepted, fumbled, and then recovered by the Redmen.
It did look like he had 2 feet down and was ready to go up the field and then just drop the football.
So Francis Bradette with the interception. Recovered on the play by Jesse Briggs, the linebacker, after Bradette fumbled the interception. And McGill will take over on the Concordia 42-yard line, the second pick of the game thrown by Liam Mahoney. By Terrence Morsink. The pass was intended for Liam Maroney. Bondi, high snap, manages to get it down and hand it off to Kaprowski, who gains, about 6 yards on the play.
And with that run on first down, picking up 5 yards, McGill getting into some short yardage situations on second down and opens up the playbook a bit for trying to pick up a first down.
Yeah, Kaprowski carrying the mail for the Redmen in the first half, 10 carries for 61 yards. Even I can work out that is a 6.1 yard average per carry. So Bondi, 2nd and 4, looks down the left, and that is complete to Thomas Fortan. Pickup of about 8 yards on the play, and that will be another Redmen first down.
Well within field goal range already for Anderson. First down on the play. Bondi is really settling into this game nicely.
Yep, the third-year quarterback replacing Jonathan Collin, who suffered a season-ending knee injury.
Well, we hope it's not a career-ending
Absolutely
injury,
not.
Matt, and we hope we'll see Collin continue his career.
That pass complete to Charles-Antoine Sinat. Pickup of about 2 yards on the play.
And there's Sinat getting involved in the action.
Sinat, one of 3 Redmen to play 5 seasons of football here at McGill. The other 2 are Patrick Dodd and the offensive tackle, Mike Piquet. Redmen working 2nd and 8 here from the Concordia 25-yard line. Bondi hurried, steps up, throws, complete to Fortan on the right-hand side. And he gets down to about the 15-yard line, gain of about 10 yards on the play.
That'll move the chains and give the Redmen another first down in the red zone.
So Fortan, after not catching a ball in the first half, he had 2 very near completions. One at the corner of the end zone where he caught it but wasn't able to stay in bounds. Has 2 receptions on this drive as McGill moving the football into the Concordia red zone. Hand off to Murphy.
Murphy makes a nice cut right up he started the run out to the right-hand side and cut it up the middle for a gain of about 5 yards.
Nice block on the play by John Bower and Cam Stockman. The offensive lineman on the right-hand side there for McGill. Pickup, of about 5 yards, as you said, Carmen.
Very impressed, like I said, with the learning curve of Bondi stepping in and running this offense.
So 2nd and 5 for Bondi from the 10-yard line. He had Justin Edwards wide open in the end zone, but that was batted down by one of the Concordia defensive linemen. We'll bring out 3rd down and bring out the McGill field goal team.
And you got to think that this will be pretty much a gimme for Anderson from about, looks like this is going to be about a 26 or 7-yard attempt.
Well, it'll be an 18-yard attempt for Anderson.
18-yard attempt, my mistake.
He is 4 for 5 tonight. Connected earlier tonight on field goals of 48 and 46 yards. So we don't want to count our chickens before they're hatched. But like you said, 18 yards, a relative chip shot compared to that. And Anderson is good from 18 yards. And the Redmen take a 24-13 lead with 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter of play.
Now you got to think, though, while the Redmen are happy to add to their lead, that they would have really liked to punch one in there and get the touchdown. For all our viewers out there right now, you'll notice that we have a new scoring update score bar on our broadcast, and that is brought to you by our cameraman Luke Chesser. Put time in over the past week to get that in for you guys. So once again, just a shout out to our cameraman working hard out here tonight.
So special teams continuing to be the story for McGill. Anderson now is connected on 5 field goals. And Concordia will elect to take the ball at their own 35-yard line. Morsink out of the backfield to Niamati. Gain, well, maybe about 2 yards on the play for Niamati.
Obviously, the Stingers not as much confidence in their return, their kick return special teams core, electing to take the ball at the 35 and forgoing the chance to possibly gain more yardage. I don't think that's something McGill would do tonight with the tremendous performance of Thompson this evening.
Niamati picked up about 2 yards on the play, so that will be 2nd and 8 for the Stingers from about their own 37-yard line. Looking for Arian Francois on the sideline there, but he was out of bounds. Covered well over there by Bob Lefebvre. So that'll bring out another punting situation for the Stingers. 7th time tonight they have punted the ball away. As Ionita comes out to punt. He's averaged 44.2 yards, had a long punt of 71 yards earlier today. Ionita kicking towards Thompson on the right-hand side, but that one will bounce out of bounds at about the McGill 46-yard line. So good field position again for the Redmen, leading 24-13 with just under 4 minutes here to play in the third quarter.
You know, I've noticed tonight, Morsink has a really great arm, but I don't think he's progressed to the point where he's looking to his second and third reads on the passing plays. It seems to be kind of predictable where he's throwing the football, and I've seen a lot of the McGill DBs reading the eyes of the quarterback and jumping the routes.
So McGill takes over at their own 46-yard line. Pass by Bondi was intended for Patrick Dodd.
Bondi didn't really have a chance to step into that one. He saw Dodd over the middle and tried to sling it in there, but couldn't get his footing set directly to put the mustard on that ball that was required.
So that brings up 2nd and 10 for the Redmen from their own 46-yard line. Kaprowski in the backfield for the Redmen, but Bondi opts to throw. Looking down the right-hand sideline, that's complete to Sinat. Gain of about 7 yards on the play.
Bondi ended up on his back, and it looks like it's going to be another roughing the passer penalty against the Stingers that'll move the Redmen up and give them first down.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that looked like the second roughing the passer call against Camille Hutchinson this game as he stepped into Bondi. He was also called for a costly roughing the passer penalty in the first half.
Well, this is a pretty critical moment in the game, giving the Redmen another chance to continue to move the ball down the field into Concordia territory now.
Bondi looking to his right. Oh, that was in and out of the hands of Thomas Fortin as he looked like he had a good chance to grab that one.
Quick, daring throw into triple coverage. He had 3 Concordia defensive backs converging on the receiver, and shows the confidence of Bondi developing over the past 2 games to throw that ball into such tight spaces. And he really had him there.
So 2nd and 10 for the Redmen from the Stingers' 43-yard line. Bondi looking deep down the right sideline. That one almost picked off. Intended for Justin Edwards, but good coverage on the play by Chris Robertson.
And McGill fails to capitalize on the roughing the passer penalty there, and let's see. It looks like Silva is on to punt and trying to pin the Concordia Stingers back deep in their own zone.
Would have been about a 49-yard kick for Anderson, and we saw him make one of those last week, but Coach Sonny Wolf electing to punt.
Well, that was definitely the source of my hesitation to call that. I wasn't sure.
Deep ball fielded by Robertson in the end zone. He gets a good block, but is eventually tackled at about the 1 yard line. 47-yard punt for Silva. Robertson was downed in the end zone. So since he returned it out of the end zone, he will get the ball at the 20-yard line.
Boy, I thought he was out of the end zone there. I thought he was going to be tackled on the 1 yard line.
He was, but since he chose to return it out by rule, the ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line. So Morsink takes over. That is a handoff to Donnelly up the left-hand side, makes a cut to the center of the field and picks up about 15 yards there on first down. First effective run we've seen by the Steelers, by the Stingers all night, as Donnelly only had 1 yard rushing prior to that carry.
As you mentioned earlier, Concordia, more of a pass-based offense as most.
Empty set for Morsink. He's hurried, has to step up. He'll elect to scramble himself. Met and tackled by Gorin. Good pressure in the back.
Yards.
Yeah, good pressure in the backfield by David Beauchamp and Alex Hutchinson for the Redmen.
(24 to 13). McGill Redmen over Concordia Stingers here with time winding down in the third quarter, just under 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Morsink elects to keep. Looks like he picked up enough for the first down there, and yes, that will be a Stingers first down, as gain of about 1.5 yards. Pardon me again, that was Liam Maroney, the wide receiver, former quarterback for Concordia, in on the QB keeper. So 1st and 10, Concordia, from their own 46-yard line. Morsink steps up. That one complete down the left-hand side, and tons of room for Harrington. Bounces off one tackle before he's eventually brought down by a gang of Redmen at around the McGill 43-yard line.
Morsink under pretty good pressure there by the Redmen defense, but manages to get the ball out in the flat to complete the play for first down. We've got an injured Redmond defensive player on the play.
While we have a second, like to thank all of our sponsors tonight. The first half was brought to you by Domino's Pizza. The second half brought to you by Ye Old Orchard, and our sponsor tonight on field goals, and there have been plenty of them, Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings.
You know, after last Saturday's game, we all went out to Ye Old Orchard and celebrated our first ever broadcast on SSN Canada, and I really enjoy that place. And I actually left my sunglasses there, Matt. And I got home and realized it, and I called them and said, "Yep, we've got them." And within 5 minutes, I was back, and the guy ran out and gave them to me. And so it's not, it's hate to lose stuff in that way.
Nice people, our friends down at Ye Old Orchard, to bring you an out-of-town score. Sherbrooke currently leading Mount Allison 27-10 in the third quarter of play. Score here, McGill leading the Stingers 24-13. As we've mentioned a couple of times, the story tonight for the Redmen, special teams. Jeff Thompson returned the opening kickoff 102 yards. He has a Quebec Conference record, 221 return yards on kickoffs.
And that's really been the story of this game in my mind, is the play of Thompson. And as far as in this specific game, the score.
Well, don't forget Austin Anderson as well. He is connected on 5 of 6 field goal attempts tonight,
Absolutely.
making up the majority of the McGill scoring. So Morsink operating out of the shotgun. That's complete down the sideline to Maroney. Makes a nice move, and that is stripped out Fumble on the play, and McGill is going to recover it.
What a turn of events.
Jeff Thompson forces the fumble, and McGill will take over on their own 7-yard line.
Right as Concordia gets something going inside of the 10-yard line, a fumble, costly fumble for the Concordia Stingers.
So not only does Jeff Thompson have 221 return yards tonight, now a forced fumble, as the return man also plays cornerback for the Redmen. That is the second straight game in which Thompson has forced a fumble. He did so against Bishops last week. So the McGill offense taking over at their own 7-yard line. Bondi, handoff to Kaprowski, gain of about 5 yards on the play.
That should take us to the end of the third quarter, and it does, and teams will switch sides here and get things going again on the other end. 24-13, McGill Redmen over the Concordia Stingers at the end of the third quarter.
And we've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating. Jeff Thompson having a phenomenal game for the Redmen. And pardon me, there is one more play here to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 5 for the Redmen. Bondi comes out looking for Patrick Dodd down the left hash marks there, but incomplete, covered well by Chris Robertson and Paul Spencer on the play.
And now we will switch the ends. I was confused there because there was one last play in the third quarter. And we've got a capacity crowd tonight on Fill the Stadium night, third annual edition of this tradition, what is becoming a tradition in the past few years. Expansion of the stadium, providing for more seating for both the McGill Redmen who play in the stadium, as well as the Montreal Alouettes who share this beautiful facility we have here.
And so the story tonight for the McGill Redmen, we've talked extensively about the fact that Ryan Bondi was coming in to replace Jonathan Collin, but he has actually not been the story tonight. It has been a special teams night for McGill. And as well, the McGill defense coming up big with 2 interceptions and a forced fumble.
Well, I'll get to a point about Bondi after the punt here.
Silva, a couple of yards inside his own end zone, will elect to punt. He's done superbly on punts tonight, and that's another good one. Backs Robertson up to his own 45-yard line. Got a little bit of room on the right-hand side, and he has the corner. Robertson up the right sideline, eventually forced out by Kaprowski, and a great return by Chris Robertson gives the Stingers some momentum. A 31-yard return by Robertson.
And I just wanted to say, Matt, as far as this particular game is concerned, absolutely the story is the special teams play and the returning game of Thompson. But in general, for the McGill Redmen, as their season progresses, Bondi has been a tremendous story in this game, really setting his feet and taking control of this offense and doing a great job stepping up in his backup role and asserting himself as a leader of this football team.
Definitely. Concordia Stingers special teams, maybe hearing us praising the McGill special teams, come up with an excellent punt return there. Chris Robertson, about 31 yards, broke it down the right sideline, and Concordia will start from the McGill 33-yard line.
Great
slight
field
delay
here
on the play as our referee Ron Paluzzi confers with the coaches from either team. Like to remind you again that our next broadcast here on the Streaming Sports Network of Canada at McGill will be on October 2nd at 1 p.m. as the Sherbrooke Verteor travel to Molson Stadium to take on the Redmen. Next game for the Redmen is a week from tonight, 7 p.m. over at the Université de Montréal. Next game for Concordia, a rematch against Bishops, who they defeated in the opening game of the season. So 1st and 10 for the Stingers. Handoff to Donnelly. Works it up the left-hand side eventually brought down by Alex Hutchinson.
Donnelly moves the chains and did a tremendous job of keeping his feet moving after the initial hit. He did a full 360 on that play. Was running backwards for a while, Matt.
Yeah, a gain of about 13 yards for Donnelly after an ineffective first half. He has now rushed for 28 yards on 2 carries here in the second half. Fake pass to Donnelly, and that is complete into the end zone. Liam Mahoney for the Stingers, the former quarterback, makes it 24-19.
Concordia knocking on the door here, getting within currently 5 points of the McGill Redmen.
And what a great throw by Terrence Morsink. He was under pressure all the way there, didn't have a ton of time on that throw, and somehow manages to find Liam Maroney wide open in the end zone for a sorely needed touchdown for these Stingers.
And I got to tell you, that's the second time in this game that I've seen a McGill defensive back fail to turn his head and look for the football on a defensive play, and I just feel that not the best way to go about covering.
Extra point is good, so that will make the score McGill 24, Concordia 20. Thanks. Terrence Morsink, his second touchdown. Now thrown for about 285 yards. He is 22 for 37 so far in this game with 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. So Morsink, a big story, starting just his second game in place of the injured Robert McKay.
We've got a close game here on a beautiful Friday evening at Percival Molson Stadium in downtown Montreal. McGill currently leading 24-20. 2 minutes into the fourth quarter.
So we've seen Concordia kick a couple of squibs in a row trying to keep the ball away from Jeff Thompson, and they will do the exact same thing again. This time goes off the leg of Patrick Bourgon, but eventually the Redmen do fall on it. I believe that was Charles Peltreau getting on top of that one.
That worked out pretty well for the Redmen. It wasn't an intentional kick of the football, but it kept the ball in relatively good field position at the 42.5-yard line, it looks like, 43-yard line.
So after the Concordia touchdown, McGill leads 24-20, and Ryan Bondi will take over. He's gone 11 for 26 so far today for 103 yards. Rolls to his right, will elect to keep the ball, and he takes a hard hit. Bondi puts his head down and runs right at.
Some aggressive play there by the quarterback, taking it upon himself to gain the 3 or 4 yard. Oh, that was more of about 6 yards on that play.
Yeah, hit hard by Kyle Smith, the Concordia cornerback on that play. Maybe not something Sonny Wolf might admire the courage there, but with his starting quarterback already injured, Bondi taking a risk there. Handoff to Kaprowski. He bounces off a tackle and breaks it to the left-hand side for a gain of about 10 yards and a McGill first down.
Good movement of the football there on second down. That's what I was talking about earlier, Matt. Trying to get in short yardage situations on second down and really giving more options to the offense and the play caller there on second down.
Now 82 yards on 14 carries for Kaprowski, averaging right around 6 yards a carry.
Also building a very nice game for himself. Where is Sean Murphy, though? That is my question. Haven't seen much out of him tonight.
Well, Kaprowski's been running the ball so well so far, and there he gets another handoff, gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, Kaprowski really is the go-to guy for McGill when it comes to running the football.
Well, as we've seen so far this year, Kaprowski did come out of training camp as the presumptive number 1 But in a preseason game against the University of Toronto, Sean Murphy had a phenomenal game, picking up 2 touchdowns, including a 59-yard TD. And then through the first 2 games of the season, we saw a platoon-back system. But as Murphy probably got slightly more carries than Kaprowski, but tonight we're seeing just the opposite. It's Kaprowski with the majority of the carries, but this time it is Murphy. Right up around first down yardage, gain of about 5 and maybe 6 yards on the play.
Training staff once again coming out to take a look at a McGill offensive player.
And that will not be a welcome sight for the Redmen. They've already lost their starting center, Jonathan Remigio. The left guard, Robert Ravensbergen, has moved to center to make up for Remigio's injury. Dan Boys sliding over to the left guard position.
Doesn't seem, though, that Ravensburg and Bondi have really missed a step. They've been pretty much on par the whole evening here.
And not a particularly good night for Bondi. 11 for 26 for 103 yards, but has managed the game well. Hasn't been asked to do much thus far, and hasn't made any ill-advised throws, and I think the Redmen will take that. Injured Redmen looked like Dan Boys, who took over at left guard after Ravensbergen slide to center. He walked off the field under his own power. So McGill, 1st and 10 from the Concordia 41.
And that is Murphy again getting involved. Gain of about 2 or 3 yards. And although the stats on Bondi are not particularly good, as you said, he's getting the feel for the offense, and you get the idea that he's becoming more comfortable and realizing that this is going to be his team for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Jonathan Collin out for the season with a torn ACL and torn LCL. So Bondi, the 3rd year from Richmond Hill, Ontario, is the starter for the Redmen the rest of the way. Bondi throwing, looking for Sean Murphy, but that falls incomplete.
Dangerous throw. Number 34, Max Karen, the linebacker, was had a read on that throw, and I think he got a hand on it to prevent the completion.
Max Karen having a good game for the Stingers. 3.5 tackles. That's 3rd best on the Concordia side of the ball. As Austin Anderson,
arts and science student out of Kingston, Ontario.
As Austin Anderson will come out to attempt a 45-yard field goal.
Anderson, as you have mentioned, absolutely great tonight.
Yeah, already connected on 5 field goals tonight. Field goal kick is up, and just hits off the upright and is no good. Austin Anderson almost had a 45-yarder there, but bounces off the left upright.
Well, that was a big momentum shift for the Stingers, preventing any points there from the McGill offense. 15 of McGill's 24 points tonight coming off the foot of Anderson.
5 for 7 now on the night for Anderson. These 2 misses have been very long ones. A 45-yard field goal attempt that he just missed, and a 55-yard field goal attempt at the end of the first half that just sailed short and right. So by rule, the ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line after Anderson's 45-yard field goal attempt bounced off the upright. Terrence Morsink going back to work. 21 for 36 so far tonight. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for the 3rd-year quarterback. And he comes out throwing again, and that one out of the reach of Eliar Mooney. Good coverage again by Matthew Quigley, who already has 1 interception tonight.
We've been calling out Matthew Quigley's name all night for his presence of mind and sharpness on the football. Seems to be always in the right position at the right time, ready to make a big play. And doing a good job of really reading the eyes of the backup quarterback for the Stingers.
So 2nd and 10 for the Stingers from their own 20-yard line. Morsink comes out throwing. Mahoney catches it. Gain of about 2 yards.
Hit immediately by Jean-David Mathieu.
Jean-David Mathieu on the tackle there. So that'll bring up 3rd down and another punting situation for the Stingers. Dimitru Ionita out for the 8th time tonight to punt.
Now McGill with a 4-point lead here, getting the ball back. 9.5 minutes to go in this game. Trying to avoid any mistakes that would give Concordia the ball back in good field position, and hoping to put some more points on the board.
Ionita kicking towards Thompson. That'll bounce at about the 50-yard line. Fielded at about the 42 by Thompson. Makes a couple of cuts. Gets out to about the 49-yard line before he is brought down.
And just tried to do too much there, but nice to see some good sportsmanship. Number 8, Christopher Bastian of the Stingers, helping Thompson up off the field after that hit.
So the Redmen take over.
These two schools, of course, bitter rivals, but tonight has been a pretty clean game despite a couple roughing the quarterback penalties against Concordia.
We talked before the game about McGill's need to keep their penalties down. They have taken 9 penalties for 79 yards so far today. Concordia has taken 8 penalties for 100 yards, and that looked like the 10th flag of the game against McGill.
So that's not a great number for either team, but an improvement for McGill as opposed to last week, where McGill was heavily penalized.
So after the holding penalty, McGill takes over from their own 40-yard line. Bondi looking down the left-hand side. He's got a wide-open Justin Edwards. Makes the catch and is eventually hauled down.
The strength of Edwards there to drag the defensive back for another 6 or 7 yards. What a tremendous play.
36-yard reception for Justin Edwards as the freshman receiver makes a big catch to put McGill into Concordia territory. Justin Edwards, a real surprise for this team so far this year, a pleasant surprise. The 6'5" wide receiver has been a revelation in the McGill receiving corps. Handoff is to Murphy. Gain of maybe a yard before he is brought down.
Just had nowhere to go on that play. Matt, an absolutely crucial moment in the game at this point. 24-20. McGill is leading Concordia. 8 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the game. Any points here from McGill will be very important.
2nd and 9 for the Redmen at the Concordia 33-yard line. Bondi under pressure, stepped up and knocked down. Was going to say a sack, but I think he got back to the line of the scrimmage, tackled by Max Caron.
Well, he did lose a yard, so that will be recorded as a sack.
Yeah, didn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage. So first sack of the game for the Stingers.
And we'll see another field goal attempt from Austin Anderson.
42-yard attempt for Anderson. He's 5 for 7 thus far tonight. Kick is up, and the 42-yarder is good. Austin Anderson with his 6th field goal of the night puts the Redmen up 27-20.
And as I said, Matt, crucial that McGill got points on that drive, missing the field goal in the last attempt from 45 yards. This one from 42 is up and good, and absolutely crucial score right here. Keeps the Redmen, puts the Redmen up by a touchdown and a field goal conversion.
So Anderson is now connected on field goals from 42, 46, and 48 yards tonight. Those are his long ones. He's also connected from 27, 12, and 18 yards. A busy night for Austin Anderson. 6 field goals so far tonight. And that, as we've just been told by our good friend Earl Zuckerman, is a McGill single-game record for field goals. 6 by Austin Anderson ties Glenn Miller's record in 1985. As here we see Morsink scrambling, pick up about 9 yards on the play.
And boy, was he close, Anderson, to a 7th, one hitting just off the right side of the goalpost for that one from 45 yards, missing earlier in the 4th quarter.
Also have a score to bring to you. The McGill Redmen have defeated the Carleton Ravens 5-3 in hockey preseason action as Liam Mahoney on the quarterback sneak picks up about 3 yards.
Concordia seems to be pretty confident with Mahoney on short yardage situations on second down. He's gotten the call 3 times tonight.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, an unusual situation for the 4th-year wide receiver from Lachine. Started in his first year at Concordia as the quarterback, but was moved over to wide receiver a couple of
motion
seasons
on the
ago.
right-hand side now.
Donnelly, he's got some room up the left-hand side. Eventually knocked out of bounds by Jeff Thompson after a gain of about 13 yards on the play.
Concordia was slow to wake up in this game. The first quarter was not very good for them, but in this second half, really moving the ball well and taking it to the McGill defense.
6 minutes and 22 seconds remaining to play here in the 4th quarter. McGill leading 27-20 as we've got another injured Redman on the play. That looks like Alex Hutchison.
His helmet is on the field and is on one knee.
So as we mentioned before, Austin Anderson's 6 field goals tonight was a McGill single-game record, tying Glenn Miller's 6 field goals in 1985, the Quebec Conference record for field goals in a regular season game, in a regulation game, so that would be not including overtime, is 7 by Christopher Milo in 2008. So Concordia 1st and 10 from the McGill 47-yard line. Handoff is to Donnelly up the left-hand side, and he will pick up another big gain. Couple back-to-back 15-yard gains from Michael Donnelly.
McGill defense looks tired to me, Matt. Looks like they've got their hands on their hips and just moving kind of slowly. Need to wake up here with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Well, the McGill defense was a big question mark coming into this season. They lost 8 of their starters from last year. And we're seeing the Stingers run the ball directly at that at that linebacking core tonight as Donnelly, again, pickup of about 5 yards. Up the middle, only one linebacker from McGill. That would be Charles Peltreau, returning from last year's starters.
Morsink settling in nicely to this game.
And Donnelly, we saw the Donnelly struggle in the first half, but now doing quite a good job as Morsink looks to Donnelly again, this time in the receiving gain, but he is covered well.
Dropped the football, had it in his hands.
And that will bring up 3rd down for the Stingers.
So nice effort, though, by McGill defense to hold the Stingers there on 2nd down.
And an interesting situation here for the Stingers, facing 3rd and 5, down by a touchdown, and it looks like they are going to elect to go for it.
I don't know if I agree with this call by the Stingers here. With this much time left to go in the 4th quarter, I think any points you put on the board are crucial.
So big play here, 3rd and 5 for the Stingers from the McGill 25-yard line. Morsink looking end zone, and he will overthrow his intended receiver, Aramuni, by about 5 yards.
And it'll remain to be seen whether that election to go for it on third down is going to come back to hurt the Concordia Stingers. I got to tell you, Matt, we've got 5 minutes left in this ball game, and if you put 3 points on the board and come within 4, you are within a touchdown from winning the game. I don't understand that call right there.
An interesting call, but then again, would have still needed a touchdown in order to put themselves in the lead. So they need a touchdown at some point, likely.
My point is that a touchdown wins you the game after that, not just the tie.
Absolutely. As McGill takes over on their own 25-yard line, handoff to Kaprowski, pickup of about a yard, and looks like he may have fumbled on the play, and he did.
Well, that changes the whole ball game, of course.
And Concordia is going to take over on the McGill 27-yard line.
And they'll get the ball back right where they had it, just about.
Looked like Paul Spencer fell on the fumble, and it will be first down Concordia on the McGill 27-yard line. A costly mistake by Taylor Kaprowski, who was having an excellent game up until this point.
Quite an exciting game here. This has turned out to be our second ever broadcast on Streaming Sports Network of Canada, coming to you from Percival Molson Stadium. Matt Chesser, Kamran Arya, in an exciting game for about 4 minutes and 48 seconds left. McGill leading by a touchdown, 27-20.
So after Concordia chose to go for it on 3rd and 5 and did not succeed, McGill gets one play off before Kaprowski fumbles, recovered by Paul Spencer of Concordia.